Hi everyone, before the video begins, I'd just like to say that the Long Beach Comic Expo is this weekend. If you're a fan of pop culture conventions like WonderCon or Anime Expo, I highly recommend this show. It's usually not too crowded, and there's lots of friendly cosplayers. I'll be attending the show on Saturday with Penny, Gabby, and my cousins. We hope to see you there. Let me know on Facebook if you'll be attending by clicking the link in the description. Well, full disclosure before I start on this Aladdin new trailer discussion, I already saw the pictures of what Will Smith looks like as the blue genie, and I'll talk more about that after we take a look at this trailer. But we sort of have an idea of what he looks like before this trailer came out. Like, Entertainment Weekly released pictures of him when he was in his superhuman form, when he didn't have the blue skin, when he was just Will Smith. And now we know what he looks like when he's blue, and I'm just like, oh god. But before I start rambling, let's check out this new trailer.
Bring me the lamp. Your life begins now.
Your life begins.
Aladdin.
Farm doesn't seem that threatening. Unless that's Jasmine. Genie.
You really don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh, I can't. I shouldn't be freaking out at this hour, literally recording this. Oh my gosh. Oh. Somebody please replace my brain with an Intel Core i9 processor right now, because I needed to process this image fast. Oh my gosh. I thought Will Smith looked ridiculous as the genie in pictures. Like, I've seen the social media posts where people are like, I'm not into this. And, you know, it's funny. I think the first place I saw a picture of Will Smith as Blue Genie was Regal Cinemas put up a picture of him on their Instagram account, and people in the comments were just like, nah, this won't do. And there was even, I know somebody in the comments was like, no thanks, I'm saving my money for Avengers Endgame. Which, yeah, given the Disney live action remakes, would you rather see that, or would you rather see the movie that's coming off of Avengers Infinity War? It's not that tough to make a decision. And either way, Disney will get that person's money either way, so it's not like a total loss. But oh my god, in this trailer, he looks even more ridiculous than in just the picture. I don't know what it is. It's just like, no. God, and even when he started talking, my brain just couldn't do that magic. You know, even when you see a movie star you recognize, like, you know how usually, even if you've seen the movie star before, your brain can work that magic of gradually go from the process of, you know, this actor to you see them as being in the character. When he started talking, all I heard was Will Smith, to be really, really honest. I mean, and I have nothing against him. I mean, like, I definitely think Will Smith's a funny guy. I've seen a couple clips of him in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I've seen him in Pursuit of Happiness, which confirms to me that he can be a dramatic actor. And I also saw him, this is rather embarrassing for me to admit, in Shark Tale, which, yeah, I don't hate that movie as much as a lot of other people, but it's just like, oh yeah. But I just don't know from this trailer. Not that it's like when it comes to the Disney, like when I think of the live action remakes, I think of ones that I'm not particularly excited for. Like I heard that Lilo and Stitch was getting one, probably, and then there was also Dumbo, and I'm just like, even though I'm sure objectively Tim Burton can come out with something decent, I'm still kind of the opinion, and like Dumbo isn't exactly one of those Disney animated movies that I'm like super excited to see in live action. And I still think the only two that I'm legitimately excited for are Hunchback of Notre Dame and Mulan, which I still think Mulan is like the one remake where I could at least think of people that are like, oh yeah, I really, really want to see it. Like my photo editor really wants to see the Mulan live action remake. Whereas with Hunchback, people are kind of split down the middle. Like I remember, seeing there's a lot of comments. I even had like one of my fellow YouTube subscribers was like, "Nah, I don't really want to see it." No ill will towards you, but it's just like me personally. I'm like, I want to see Hunchback on the screen. Aladdin, I mean, I'm not saying that it should never ever ever be remade into a live action movie, because technically I see potential, but I'm not like super super excited either. And this trailer, I'm not. It didn't degrade my opinion to the point where I'm like, screw this, I don't want to go see this movie anymore. I'm still of the kind of skeptical sort of opinion, and now I'm even more skeptical. I don't know. I don't really want to judge the guy who plays Jafar just from hearing him say a few lines, but when I think of what Jonathan Freeman did in the Aladdin Disney animated movie, like even just his voice, was this really devious kind of mysterious voice, and he comes off as legitimately threatening, and not just from his design or when he goes totally crazy at the end of the movie, even just hearing him like talk normally, it's like, oh, you better listen to this guy because it doesn't sound like he's up to no good. But it's only a few lines, so then again, I guess I can't be too critical. Whereas Will Smith's Genie, I mean, like I said before, when I heard that Will Smith was going to play the Genie, I was like, I'll give it a chance. Like, Will Smith can definitely be funny, although not from a sort of, like, when I think back to, I look at Robin Williams when he played the Genie, and even though I didn't see this in full, I've listened to a few songs from the Aladdin Broadway musical where James Iglehart, who's a really, really good singer, played the Genie. And even though in the Broadway show, Iglehart's Genie is definitely a different take on the character, it's like, yeah, I could totally see it. Like, he's, this really over the top, this sort of really bombastic, just this happy happening in person. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I would really like to see Iglehart as the Genie. Now, obviously, they don't just want to have parade Iglehart around and he's now the permanent Genie, like he's Robin Williams' successor. Like, I'm sure, this is a role that, multiple people have played. Like, I know, like, in the, I think at least in Return of Jafar, Dan Castellaneta of Homer Simpson fame played the Genie. But I want to see, what Will Smith does with his character, because we often associate Will Smith with playing these really, kind of characters with a lot of charm, a lot of charisma. And if that's his take on the Genie, I'd like to see that. Like, I'd like to see a Genie that's, very, very kind of over the top and tries to be, funny and that kind of thing. So I'm thinking, this could possibly work, because I'm just kind of taking the moment to realize, okay, well, you've seen other people play the Genie. What do you want to see in a Will Smith Genie? And I'm not saying that Will Smith has to be super improvisational. When I just judge him on his own, I think technically it could work. Like, I could definitely see Will Smith put on a lot of the charm and a lot of the humor as the sort of, like, I'm kind of wondering, is he going to play him as sort of the big man on campus sort of Genie, or just, I don't know. My mind is just kind of wandering all over the place because I'm looking at this. I'm just like, oh, his design looks even worse when you watch it. And motion, and I'm just trying to calm down a bit. But the point I'm getting at is, I'm not against the idea of Will Smith playing the genie. Like, I definitely feel that with how Will Smith likes to play these really like sort of charming / goofy characters, I'm like that could be a really interesting take on the genie, and maybe this one bit, because kind of like what I said about Jafar, and I'm just like, I don't know about that. Then again, it is just a few lines. Like, we are looking at him from just a design point, and I don't know, just in terms of design, I just think the real big issue here is like, this is a perfect example of when you take an animated character in terms of design, the design doesn't immediately equal good when you reach live action. And obviously, with Will Smith's Genie, they took a much more realistic, like, sort of approach in terms of the form factor. Like, they didn't make him this really, this really big dude that the animated Genie was. But I don't really know about this one. I mean, it just kind of looks like Will Smith is just part of the Blue Man group, which I have nothing against the Blue Man group, but I'm just like, that's it. It just looks like you dumped blue paint on him, and you gave him a, that you obviously put him in this necklace and costume makeup and that kind of thing, and I'm just like, I don't know about that, and I honestly don't really have a good idea of what else they can do either, because it is a movie. You can still have the genie come out of the lamp, through CGI, of course, but I don't know, like, I really like what they did with, again, going back to James Iglehart, what they did in the Broadway musical, Iglehart's costume is basically, you just put him in a blue outfit, you do some, touch-ups with his face, and there you go. And in that case, it's a Broadway musical, obviously, they have to, have an actor running around the set, but then again, I guess that's really hard to judge, because it's like, well, what sold Iglehart's performance, even if you just hear him sing the songs of like A Whole New World or Prince Ali, his voice has like so much charisma, and I've seen a bit of him, dancing on stage. He has so much energy in it that it's like yeah, I really like this guy. He seems really enjoyable. I like watching, like hearing him sing as the genie, and I think he's got the performance chops. So maybe it'll be this case in this movie where Will Smith's Genie comes more from the the performance and the singing. I mean, of course, we all know Will Smith sings, but like, maybe he'll sell us in terms of more the acting and the singing rather than what he looks like. I don't know. Like, I know character design is definitely a really, really big part of the movies, especially something like, Disney's Aladdin. But I'm also a person of like, okay, if you can't sell me on the character design, are there any other redeemable factors you can give me? Which I still think they definitely could with this movie. I don't know. I just think back to, this isn't nearly as bad as like the Beauty and the Beast live action remake, where it just looks like they took, really fancy objects like a clock or a cup, and they just slapped the face on it. Like, that's really, really ugly. Whereas with this, they kind of wanted to go the more realistic route, and I'm fine with that. Like, at least in terms of on principle, it doesn't sound that bad. But it's just like, oh boy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like I was like super like excited to see Aladdin come, especially as a Disney live action remake. This isn't one of those remakes where I'm like, I must see it. Again, that's probably going to be more reserved for something like Hunchback or Mulan. But in the end, I just hope that Aladdin is good. I mean, Guy Ritchie is directing it, so we're probably going to get some really cool action scenes. Hopefully they'll get the tone consistent, because I don't know, after seeing the Beauty and the Beast live action remake, it's kind of made me more aware of, you got to keep these movies tonally consistent, because admittedly it's really hard to do. I mean, in the original, like, I think of like Beauty and the Beast and Hunchback and certainly Aladdin, they were able to kind of mix the heavy stuff with the cartoony stuff really, really well. But I don't know. It worked. I would say it worked okay in something like the Cinderella remake. In the Beauty and the Beast remake, the tone just went really kind of off the wall, especially in the really cartoony scenes. Again, like I said, I think I brought this up in my Hunchback discussion where I told you guys about the scene where that one, I think it was a clothes hanger that was beating the heck out of LeFou's face, and it made that sort of, and it just like, Jesus Christ. So I don't know. I still hope for the best for this movie. I mean, obviously, you can't judge a movie from this trailer. You can only get indications of what. You can only just speculate from a trailer and hope for the best. And I hope for the best. There's definitely been lots of movies I've seen where I'm like, when I hear about the hype and when I finally go see it, it's like, oh hey, it turned out fine. It happened to me with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where when I first heard the rumblings of that movie, I was like, why are people getting so excited? And then when I went to see the movie, I was like, okay, that was actually pretty cool. So I don't think we're gonna get that with Aladdin, but I'm only gonna know if I do see the movie. So leave it here. What do you guys think of this sneak peek? Are you sold on this design of the blue genie? Again, nothing against Will Smith. I think he's a really cool old guy, but I just don't know, at least in terms of, how they approached him in terms of makeup. So I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. Leave your thoughts down below. This has been Blood Moon Bobby, and I'm gonna go try to make sense of what I just saw. See ya. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell to get notified when I release my latest videos. Follow me at Blood Moon Bobby on your favorite social media platforms to take part in polls, see my tech tips, and to hear about my video plans. Thanks for watching.